Okay, we're going to go ahead and do our candy corn crispy treats. We're going to serve it with these tortilla chips from the bakery. Puerto Yucatan chips. They fry those in the bakery themselves. We also serve a good salsa available in our specialty case. So that's what we're going to serve those with, and we'll cut the bread up in just a minute. Okay, candy corn Rice Krispie treats. We're just going to make regular Rice Krispie treats, basically add candy corn. Now sometimes, I've made this in the past, you can add anything to Rice Krispie treats. You can drizzle chocolate, melt chocolate and drizzle it over the top. Time constraints, I didn't have time, but a lot of times, and if you don't have 2 cups of candy corn, just dump whatever you got in there. I like to cut it up or put it in a blender and chop it up, but I didn't exactly have time today. You can do whatever you like, but it does make a nice little treat, and it is pretty and bright. We've kind of had a few of them ate in the process. We'll get to that in just a second. But everybody likes Rice Krispie treats, so something kind of neat for Halloween, Thanksgiving. Do what? Yes. Yeah, they do. They stick well. And we've made them out of white chocolate before too. Put white chocolate in, and it's really, Rice Krispie treats take on a whole different taste when you put white chocolate in them, or coat them in white chocolate. So it makes them a little fancier, you know. All right, well, we'll get this out, and we're going to go ahead and start a Rice Krispie treats.
So you can melt your white chocolate and then dip the tops of them in hot chocolate.
Right. And it's really good. We've dipped whole Rice Krispie bars before, cut the bars and dipped them, and those are really pretty. And some websites you can go to, you can see the candy corn. They've made Rice Krispie bars in the shape of candy corn and used colored sugar. And they cut them out in the shapes, colored them by the orange and kind of light and yellow, and sprinkled sugar on them and put them on a stick. But just regular old Rice Krispie bars everybody likes. So, all right, I'm going to start melting my butter real quick. Just use 1/4 cup of butter. All right, I'm looking for my marshmallows. I just had them in my hand. Here they are. All right. All right, just a small bag of mini marshmallows. That's 6 cups. It's hard to believe that that's 6 cups in that little bag. It's just, I think, a 10-ounce bag, 10.5-ounce bag. There's 6 cups in those. It's hard to believe. How many of y'all, some of you all have been around a little while. My mother used to make birthday cakes out of marshmallows, and I attempted to make one. Have you all ever done that? Back in the late 70s, people were doing it. Making flowers and butterflies and whatnot out of colored marshmallows. You cut them with scissors and form them. I'm telling you, if anybody ever makes you a cake like that, you need to appreciate them really well, because it's kind of like cutting, how many of y'all ever made an orange slice cake and you've had to cut the orange slices? You know how long that takes? Well, it's the same kind of process. I'm going to melt these for another 30 seconds, and I'm going to add a little bit of food coloring. That's why these have that little orangier tint to it. It's because I added food coloring. So has everybody got their plants up and ready for winter, for the freeze? I brought a few in last night. I'm just not ready for it. I don't guess most of us are. All right, we're just going to add, how many drops? I never can remember. 4 drops of red? Well, I really went to town on the red, so I guess I'll have to with the yellow too.
3 to 1, yellow to red.
I usually, unfortunately, end up with food coloring on my hands. And when I worked in floral, we used food coloring in different things and spray paint every day. I always went home with spray painted or colored hands every day. I never could manage to ever do it without going home with my hands being a different color. All right, so they're nice and bright and yellow. We're going to stick them in here just another orange and yellow. We're going to melt them another minute. Then I have 6 cups of Rice Krispies already in a bowl, ready to go for me. I've got my pan sprayed. You can butter it if you like. Well, maybe. I'm just going to dump this down with my cereal. You can add it in at the end also if you like. All right. We're just about there. There we go. I think this will be all right. See, that food coloring gets toned down just a little bit when you start mixing all that together. I remember as a child, my mother loved food coloring, and she would color apples. We had apples in the fall and spring, but she would food color apples. We would have apples of every color. And I would think, why does she do this? But she was always trying to make things seem more interesting, and we always had apples. So all right, we're going to stir these up. This is a very large bowl. It don't look like I've got much in here, but at home, this would be coming out the top of the bowl. All right. All right, I'm going to spread these in my pan. Now, you know, if you're in a really big hurry and you're making Rice Krispie bars, you can always throw them in the freezer just a minute to kind of set up. Well, I did that tonight and kind of forgot about them, if y'all noticed when I was cutting them. Having a little bit of difficulty cutting through that candy corn. You can put M&Ms in Rice Krispie treats. There's so many different things, you know, and majority of people like Rice Krispie treats. It don't matter if you're young or if you're old.
Have you ever tried it with chocolate Rice Krispies?
I've not. I've used Fruity Pebbles before. Are the chocolate ones good?
I don't even make those plain ones anymore.
Oh, really?
Chocolate Rice Krispies are so good.
I would have never even thought of using. I did the Fruity Pebbles, but they get a little stickier than. And I usually use my hand when I press these in, so they're. And when you cut these, you're going to see the candy corn a little bit more than you see when I'm mixing them in the pan. But I like to kind of press them down because it makes them a little firmer. We'll put a few on here. And we'll let them kind of set just a few minutes. All right, and that is our Rice Krispie treats. All right, well, the first thing we're going to make tonight, I've got all kinds of things going on. We're going to make mighty meatballs. This is very, very easy, very quick. I'm going to kind of triple the recipe just a little bit because we've got a good sized class tonight. You can make your own meatballs and cook them, but we're all so busy. We sell a good brand of Armour meatballs in the meat department. The frozen food department's got many different kinds. This is a party size bag. Runs you about $11, so not a bad deal for a huge bag of meatballs. These are really good. All you do, this recipe is easy. We've made all kinds of different kinds of meatballs before. Several of the ladies tried them earlier and really liked them. All you do is take a half a cup, if you're just going to do a third of this bag, a half a cup of undrained crushed pineapple, and a half a cup of barbecue sauce. Now I do use the honey barbecue sauce. I use our Food Club version of the Sweet Baby Ray's or Sweet Baby Rose, whichever one you prefer. Totally up to you, but that's what I use. Even at home, that's the brand I use. You kind of stir this up, kind of get it warm in a pot, get it going just a little bit. I turn the eye off, and we all know how kind of slow this pot is, or stove is. Okay, simple, 3 ingredients. We'll get this going in just a second. But these meatballs are really good. They're farm-rich meatballs. So it's something that's quick and easy to throw together. You can also make these in a crock pot, or you can heat them in a pot, dump them in the crock pot, put them on low, or on keep warm, and they're ready to go. It's a nice little thing in a hurry if you have people that kind of drop over for supper and you don't know what you're going to do. This is a nice thing to have in the freezer. All right, I'm just going to dump these in here, kind of toss to coat these around a little bit. And I've got a few more left over from my other batch. I may have got just a little bit more pineapple in here this time than I did the last time. I apologize, this batch may have just a little bit more on them. Throw this away. Just kind of toss those around. And you're going to kind of get these to warm. That one's trying to fly away. Heat them to warm. And just turn them down, let them simmer about 10 minutes, and they're ready to go. But like I said, I like to put these in the crock pot, kind of based on your temperature of your crock pot, and get it ready to go. There we go. We're going to put just a little bit more barbecue sauce in this one. Now, I'm just going to squirt a little bit more. Now, that's totally up to your taste, but I'll show you what they look like when we're done here. And I'm sorry we didn't turn on the back TV tonight. I apologize. All right. When these are done, and these have been sitting here for a little while, you get this good, tasty meatball. And it has a nice, pretty coating on it. I don't know if you all can see that. I don't have a plate up here with me. Yes, I do. We can scoop one of those out, if you can see that. These are pretty meatballs, but the coating is kind of, it looks like that you've spent, you know, a long time on mixing up something to coat these with, and we've really not, obviously. All right, scary dip. All right, this is really easy. You take a 9-inch square pan. I've doubled the recipe, so I used a 13 by 9. Well, I've got an oven right now. I took 1/8 ounce package of cream cheese, kind of smeared it on the bottom. You don't even have to spray the pan. Get it to room temperature, just spread it out. Now we're going to take about an 8-ounce jar of salsa. I have used most of this already. We're going to put that over top of it. We're just going to layer this in. This is a layered dip. Any kind of salsa will do, depending on your family, what they like, hot or spicy or not. We've got some really good different kinds of salsa. This is your normal everyday salsa. We've got that on there like this. Now we're just going to add a pound of ground beef. I've already cooked it and drained it. It's sitting and waiting ready for me to go. That's what takes the longest. You can always cook your hamburger the night before. Just warm it up just a little bit. Now, we're going to add a pound of processed cheese spread. I think Food Clubs is called Cheesy Does It, Velveeta to most people. So about a half a block, a pound. We're going to put this on here.
Like using a Velveeta loaf?
Yes, it's about half of it. Hello. All right. Now, we've got it just like this, so it looks like a nice little meatloaf. We'll cover it in full. We're going to put it in a 400-degree preheated oven. And I think my timer has not. We're going to have to watch my other because I think I've got my timer off. Okay. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. My timer, I don't know, is doing strange things this evening. It still says I have 14 minutes, 42 seconds, and I've had it in there a while. So, we're going to pull it out. I'll show you what it's starting to look like. It's probably not had just long enough to melt quite yet. So I'll go ahead and show you. It's starting to melt. So this is a really nice cheesy dish, and we'll scoop down in that in just a few minutes for him to see. Okay, now we're going to move on to our spooky spinach dip. This is another real easy recipe. I know we flew through these recipes tonight. They take longer to cook than they do to mix up. You're going to take a pound of the Cheesy Does It or Velveeta. This is a 2-pound pack. Do what?
How much does that cost?
I don't remember. And I should. It is cheaper. It's quite a bit cheaper than Velveeta. But take half of this. You can cube it up. We just kind of divide the slices up because we were looking at, you just kind of want it sliced up for it to melt easier. This is going to be melted. It doesn't have to be in pretty little things because it is being melted. We're going to take that, a can of diced tomatoes. I use diced tomatoes with sweet onions. You can use whatever you like. Don't drain them. Just pour them in on top of the cheese. And we're going to cook this 2 minutes and stir it, cook it 2 more till it's melted. And then we'll go from there. All right. Does anybody have any questions so far? Nope. All right. Well, this is a pretty self-explanatory class tonight. I do know when you make fudge, how many of y'all remember us making the Velveeta fudge with the Cheesy Does It? We've made fudge out of this before. If you've not had it, you need to try it. We may do that recipe again for Christmas. Most of y'all are looking at me like, what in the world's wrong with you? It makes about 5 to 7 pounds of fudge easily. Actually, I think it makes more than that. It makes tons and tons and tons of fudge. This is what your binder is. You use confectionery sugar and cocoa and whatnot. Super easy fudge. But I do know some of the different brands besides Velveeta. This does pretty good. They have a little bit more trouble setting up. Some of the other brands, other store brands and stuff I've used before, and they don't set up quite as well. But we may make that for Christmas because a lot of y'all probably have not tried that. But we've made it before. It tastes more like cocoa, chocolate fudge. It doesn't taste like cheese at all. Yeah. Have you tried it before? And if you don't you have to really use the name brand in it. And I've used this one. It does pretty good, but like I said, it's just, I guess it's something in the consistency of it. But it's really good. But store manager, he's kind of a picky eater. Mark absolutely loved this fudge. I didn't tell him what was in it till after he'd done ate it. But or he probably wouldn't have ate it. But we may make that when we do our candy or fudge. We didn't get to do a lot of candy last year because the weather was so bad and it rained for months on end. And we were going to do candy. And by the time it quit raining, it was summer, so nobody wanted to make candy no more. All right, let me stir this up. We're not quite there yet with this. It'll be just probably another 2 minutes. All right. Well, I'm going to show you what the end product is. I've done made quite a bit. We've taken a bread bowl and just hollowed it out. One of them looks cheesier than the other. This is our spinach dip. It's good to serve it warm. We've hollowed out some Indian bread. You can use whatever kind of bread you like. You can serve it with bread. We're going to serve it with some more French bread and some chips. This is a real good party item. It's easy to make. All you're doing is warming in the microwave. I've already cooked my spinach. We're going to add spinach and crushed red pepper. You cook and drain your spinach ahead of time or thaw it. By the time you thaw spinach, you all already know it's just a little frozen box of spinach. It's already cooked through by the time you get it thawed. All right, I think we're about ready to put that spinach in there. It's not quite that hot yet. But this is just a different take on a spinach dip. You all know that I like spinach dips, and we've tried a lot of them, haven't we, Nancy? A lot of different kinds of spinach. Do what? All right, we're going to stir this spinach in, and 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. This is really pretty and bright. And we're going to cook that just another couple of minutes till that's heated through. All right,